Hello everyone, it's Steve with Aptera Owners Club. In this video, I'm going to go over a couple of things that were updated about their testing rig and Gamma that Aptera released this week. First of all, on their TikTok channel, they have this cable and hose durability tester that they're going to go over, so we'll listen to that and talk about it.
It's time to show another testing rig. This is our cable and hose durability tester. It has actuated the number of steering and suspension cycles that represents over 200,000 miles of driving and is still going strong. Already, the rig has fully validated the diameter and materials of the cables and hoses that run to our Elaphe hub motors. It's time to show another test.
Okay, so if you look at the comments, people are like, oh, you need to add grease, salt, ice, water, oil, dirt, all kinds of stuff on it to really test it. That's probably true, but I think that would stress out like the ball joints and the steering components more. And those are basically standard automotive components. And I think engineering has a pretty good handle on the longevity of those parts because those are the same parts that have been used in cars for a long time. I think the thing that's new for them are the high voltage cables and the coolant cables that are going to the hub motor, and they just wanted to test mechanical stability of those things over those cycles. So I think it's a good thing that they're doing all that, and it just goes to show you that Aptera is really thinking about the longevity of their car. Remember, they were doing all the freeze-thaw cycles and hitting it with hailstones on their solar panels. And the solar panels are probably the thing that they need to do the most testing on because that is a non-standard automotive component. So I think they are doing a lot of testing on that. And this was something that people wondered about, having those cables and hoses exposed and put to all the stresses that being exposed and with movement of the suspension. So this is testing the movement and the mechanical stability of it. Now, I don't know how well they're testing like the UV stability of it with exposure to sunlight and to freeze thaw cycles. I suspect that that's all in the specs of the plastics that they're encoding. The other thing that I heard people talk about is some of these automotive hoses are attracting squirrels and rats and things like that. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, but that's definitely happened to me. Some squirrels got into my car once back in the day, and they ate through the spark plug cables, and that made the car not work. So I think they've changed the plastic on these things so that they're not as attractive to rodents. And I'm sure that Aptera is going to be the same. And one other thing that someone's mentioned is like, it is a place that people could vandalize the car by cutting those cables. I don't know that you can really stop people from vandalizing cars though, so I don't know what the solution to that is. Maybe they will partially cover it. I'm not sure, but it's good to see them doing this mechanical testing, which is good. All right, the other thing they did is they released this video about driving Gamma, and in this one, Quincy and Chris drive around the Gamma. It's not a lot of new information in this for us, but it's a good marketing piece for people that maybe don't know about Aptera as much. The things that I would have want to see would have been like range testing, efficiency testing, solar charging testing, those kinds of things, but they didn't get into that on this video. But it was still interesting. In this first part, I want you to notice the yoke. So there's definitely, it's not a variable ratio yoke. You do have to turn the yoke over to do turns, and you can see that here. I think people really worry about that, but I think people are more adaptable than they're given credit for, and people get used to the yoke fairly easily. And I'm guessing if the yoke was the normal thing and people changed to a steering wheel, people would complain that the steering wheel is terrible and that it's blocking their view and things like that. Most people find things to worry about with any thing that's different than what they're used to. But you do notice that the yoke requires a complete turn to make corners.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, right off the bat, I see a huge difference.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back again. Watch this.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's almost a complete
All right,
360
right
turn.
off the bat, I see a huge difference.
Then this next part, I want look at this screen here. and this is their UI, and they're talking about the different things that the UI is doing. Now, I think the UI is only partially working because if you look at the range and the time, this says 10:29 and the range says 215 miles. And then this is a picture that someone took at fully charged, and you see 215 miles here, and it's 10:29 at the same time. So I think these are not functional. And I don't know how much of this is functional, but they'll demonstrate that the gear selector is functional and the windows and the dome lights are functional. So here you go.
I really like the center display and how everything is, really starting to come together with the design here. So you can go up and down on the side, windows. It all works. You even have dome lights in here that you can use. So here's the left and right dome light.
Okay, I'm going to pause it there. This is interesting too. The screen that functions as the rear view mirror, it seems to be flipped because you can't read the license plate is flipped. I don't know if that's by design or they haven't. That's not the final thing yet. But this is definitely flipped, and I think. Do you want it flipped? Is it a mirror flipped? I think it is. I guess that's by design then. They want it that way. Because I guess then that way this side is this side represents the left side of the car and this side represents the right side of the car. If you flipped it so that you could read this license plate, then that would be reversed and that would be probably more dangerous. So I think this is by design that the license plate looks backwards on the mirror.
This is also where you do your gear selection. So right now we're in drive, but I could go into reverse right now and it would change. It's all done on the touchscreen.
Okay, this is them talk. You can hear if you the sound level on their video is quite low, but you can hear the hum of the motor, and I think it's really cool.
By volume, so really every dimension has a lot more room. We've had
Oh, never mind. This is the part where they talk about how big the thing is.
people up to 6'8" fit comfortably here at our events and stuff, which
Yeah.
has been really exciting to see.
That was crazy. That was one of my favorite experiences of fully charged, was being able to have people of all shapes and sizes and backgrounds get to be able to experience Aptera for the very first time. I think 6'8" was probably the cap that we were.
Okay, so the Quincy is saying that 6'8" was the largest person that fit in there. So now we have the answer. Up to 6'8". And then Jack from Fully Charged, he fit in there fairly comfortably at 6'5". All right, this is the part where you can hear the motor sound.
It can also be, one of the most fun and fast vehicles ever made too.
Yeah,
It
I
competes
know.
with so many, supercars with the 0 to 60 times, but yet it's kind of for everyone. It's for you and me. It's for everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not my favorite feature of Aptera, but I know that my fiance Blaine is really excited about being able to take it.
Okay, so you can see the speed and the acceleration was pretty good, and so they don't. The things I would have liked to have seen, honestly, and hopefully they'll get to that in a future video, is the UI showing the solar charge rate as it's outside, and then a efficiency test would have been nice to know how many watt hours per mile it takes. They have been saying 100 watt hours per mile, and so we need to see if that holds up. And then this last part is looking at a speed bump. Now they picked a very small speed bump. I mean, this is probably on the smaller end of speed bumps, but you can see it clears this without any problem. And if you look at it carefully, it does look like the wheel pants have been raised a little bit. Because you can see much of the rim here. In the previous pictures, you saw that the wheel covers went right to the bottom of the rim. But they're like maybe another inch over the rim. And I think this is 5 inches. It's not 3 inches. This is my guess. But it easily clears this. And then tons of room in the back. No problem in the back wheel. Okay, so that is the driving video for the Aptera. So you guys should check that out. I'm sure most of you guys have already seen it. If you noticed anything else about the video, please let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks to our supporting members. Have a great day.